what are the best books about LA? So I just put a couple of books on there. I know there are several more, but
Hmm.
this to me, so we could talk about Day of the Locust. I'm not putting it on the list because I don't think it's that, personally, I don't think it's that good. I know Jay really loves Day of the Locust. Oh, but like there's another one, My Dark Places. You write that down. Um, My Dark Places is awesome. But my favorite LA book, a book about LA, a novel, it's a novel. These are all novels, is Ask the
What?
Dust.
It's called
Ask,
Ask the Dust.
Ask the Dust.
Hey there, welcome back to Pod and Deliver. Ruben, this week I read an article regarding this whole issue regarding plagiarism with Dr. Gay from Harvard. Not only Dr. Gay, but this is like an issue being talked about right now in the news. I looked at the Washington Post recently, dated January 4th, 2024. The title is The Plagiarism Allegations Against Ex-Harvard President Claudine Gay Explained. This article, Ruben, dealt with the different writers who were affected by Ms. Gay. Some of the authors who she plagiarized said, "Yeah, not a big deal." Some said, "Well, she could do a couple of things. She did apologize." Because there are a couple of people she went back to and talked to. And then there's some writers who said, "Oh no, she plagiarized a nice piece of my work, and I'm not happy with it." And so I think that this has to be talked about. I'm not sure if everybody knows about plagiarism. I've been talking about plagiarism, Ruben, in my classes recently, and explaining what it is. Talking to my students and saying, hey, you know what? Cheating and plagiarism is a type of cheating, right? There's all types of cheating. But plagiarism is actually taking a piece of work and saying it's your own without giving credit. And how do we do credit? We go ahead and we put quotation marks. We refer back to the end of the paper in our citation piece, and we give credit where credit is due. And we're finding out in the news, Ruben, that there's a lot of other people who are doing this or being there's others who are like whistleblowing, right? Telling, hey, this author or this president did this or this person did this. And it's becoming really big. I know for me, Ruben, I remember one time I cheated. I'm very embarrassed by this actually. I cheated in college. I wrote a word in my hand. Yeah, and my professor caught me.
Scandal.
I wrote a word. I'm embarrassed by it. I just want to be honest. I'm not gonna lie here. I wrote a word, and I remember that word, Ruben, just opened up doors in my mind. Okay, it
Yeah.
just like it was a God gift word. Just help me. Just help me. I don't care. It was cheating. So at the end, the professor talked to me and said, "What do you have there?" And he talked to me about it, and I was just so embarrassed, so just I told myself that will never happen again. I don't care if that one word opened up doors. I better figure out how to open doors another way. And so I shared that with my students this week, actually. I said, you know what, I did this. I'm embarrassed, but you guys, I could have been kicked out of the school, and I wasn't. I was very fortunate by this professor who was very kind to me. And so I have to just be upfront. And I think that people do that sometimes and they're not upfront and say, hey, well, but if you get caught, if you've done wrong, like Miss Gay, hey, own up to it. She didn't own up to it. She actually was dismissed by Harvard. I think I hear she's still teaching, but for sure she was dismissed as president. Ruben, what do you think about all this? Have you had any thoughts about it?
This is a peculiar story if you think about it, because the university system really makes it very clear that plagiarism is a scandal that you cannot recover from. If you are caught cheating, it's the end, or it could be. We start in high school as an English teacher. We talk about it the first day in ninth grade. So I was teaching a summer school class. Um, I'm forgetting what it's called now, but it's STA, Summer Transition Academy, which is students coming into the class, into the high school for the first time, ninth graders. How do you approach them? What do you tell them? First week, we show them a video about plagiarism. So, the head of Harvard gets caught, the top university in the US, if not the world. It's a peculiar story. And I guess maybe there are more that are going to be caught. And amidst this wreckage, and there's political implications, and there's a good point on the other side too. It's like, are you starting a witch hunt here? Are you looking under every book, every nook and cranny? I don't want to kick somebody who's down. She was fired, okay. But I guess I want to look at it on a different take a different tack on it for a moment.
Mhm.
I actually like this discussion though because um, it's sort of seeped into other areas of culture right now. There's been a lot of talk about joke stealing in the comedy community, and people will steal your joke like nothing. They won't even think about it. They'll just take it. And a lot of times it's these big name comics who can take from you and with a wink and a nudge to you say, hey, don't say too much and I might put you on my bill or just shut up because I might squash you. Now that's the implication. And obviously everybody's seen the Cat Williams video by now, but this has been going on. And it's nice that we start to talk about it and we start to see, wait a minute, you can't do this. Why? And I'm starting to think people don't think much about stealing. Like they think theft is just your personal physical item, but we need to start talking about intellectual property, that thing that is not physical sometimes, but it's your own ideas. And maybe students have forgotten that. And that we could talk about it and and that could be a real interesting discussion that like so if you're teaching a course on plagiarism, you could have a lot of fun with it. You could say, hey, you student, bring forward a comic you like or a song you really enjoy. Um, and what is the intellectual property of this that can be stolen? And what do you think the consequence for that person who stole it should be? So it could be a very interesting, fun way to teach the idea of intellectual property. And how would you feel if someone stole it? Is it just as bad as if someone stole your iPad or your phone? It's something to think about.
No, it is. Yeah, thanks for sharing that because I think that this has to be talked about because it's a not just only because it's in the news, but we as teachers, we deal with students all the time. I talk to them all the time regarding cheating and so forth. But plagiarism, it's interesting how you brought up the whole music and the comedy world because these are worlds that the kids are interested in. And if you bring that into it, talk about songs that were stolen. Because some kids will go, "What? That song was taken from another artist? I didn't know that." Because we see that all the time, and I think kids will really relate to that. But yeah, Ruben, I think we could continue this discussion hopefully in the future. Hopefully, this won't continue in the college world, but I think it will until it's all cleaned up. But with that, thank you all for joining us on Pod and Deliver again. And we hope you have a good night and we will see you soon. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and ring that bell. We'd love to have you with us. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye.